Every life on this planet is a book of secrets. And perhaps the deepest secret of all is it, when life itself becomes impossible, what does a creature do? Does it fight? Or does it simply disappear? Today, we are looking at a creature that does something far more strategic. It chooses to wait. Look closely at the natural world around you. Beneath the constant hum of life, there is an ancient fundamental question that every creature must answer. How do I survive when everything turns against me? This is not just a question of strength or speed, but of strategic timing. The rhythm of life is fundamentally bound to rhythm of the seasons. Especially in the vibrant tropics, life is a delicate dance between two extremes: the abundance of the wet season and the scarcity of the long, challenging dry season. For a creature as fragile as the butterfly, a mother's most critical decision isn't just where to lay her eggs, but when. If she lays her eggs during a prolonged dry period, there may be no host plants for her offspring to eat. If the environment is too harsh for her caterpillar to grow, her energy is wasted. So, what is the most profound answer a mother can give to this impossible situation? She chooses to wait. She presses the pause button on the most fundamental act of life, reproduction. This temporary strategic suspension of mating and developing egg is a beautiful, complex survival technique we call reproductive diapause. It is a profound declaration that sometimes the most successful action is no action at all. Our research is an ongoing effort to uncover the prevalence of this pause button across different species and habitats in Africa, asking, is this survival strategy a universal rule or a choice made only when the ecological pressure is too intense? To track this reproductive decision, our team examined 6 African butterfly species across 4 climatically distinct regions. The core of our work was to establish a clear measure of their reproductive status. We needed to know 2 things about every female butterfly we collected. First, has she mated? And second, is she actively preparing to lay the eggs? We used dissection to directly examine the female's reproductive organs. For the mating status, we counted spermatophores. When a male mates, he deposits a spermatophore, a protein-rich package containing sperm. This is a massive resources investment. By counting these packages, we can determine how many times a female has mated. If this organ, the corpus bursa, is empty, she may be a virgin or strategically withholding reproduction. For the second question, we counted the egg load. A female with a high egg load is reproductively active. A female who has mated but maintains a low egg is evidence of the strategic pause. She is in diapause. We then integrated these biological facts with the satellite climate data, including rainfall, vegetation, and humidity, to try and identify the environmental triggers for this pause. Our preliminary results revealed the clear patterns across different habitats and regions. The decision to enter the diapause appears to be heavily influenced by how intensely the seasons change. Think of it as 2 types of environment. On one side, you have the less seasonal forest habitats. In places like Liberia and coastal Kenya, rainfall and humidity are relatively stable. The dense tree canopy keeps the vital larval host plants available, minimizing the ecological stress. In these stable environments, our data suggests that butterflies maintains continuous reproductive function with the pause button rarely pressed. On the other side, you have the highly seasonal savanna habitats. In locations like Krematat, South Africa, the landscape experiences dramatically wet summers followed by arid, dry winters. This drastic swing causes host plants and nectar sources to become extremely scarce. The species Melanitis leda in particular demonstrates this pattern. Females from more seasonal savanna areas showed the evidence of reproductive diapause during the dry months, while those from the less seasonal forest environments appeared to be maintained reproductive function more consistently. These patterns strongly suggest that reproductive diapause is an adaptation selectively employed in response to predictable ecological stress. This research is still evolving, but our initial findings already offer insight into how species-specific strategies are shaped by habitats and climate. We are working to identify the precise environmental thresholds, to exact drop in rainfall or vegetation cover that trigger this reproductive diapause. These patterns point toward the remarkable evolutionary flexibility of butterfly reproductive systems in seasonal dynamic environments. Our next steps are to expand this investigation. We plan to extend the time series of this collection, incorporate the data from additional species, and analyze more locations to test the strength of this habitat-driven hypothesis. The ultimate goal is to move beyond mere correlation and truly understand the mechanism of triggers behind this fascinating survival choice. The humble African butterfly is a perfect model, teaching us that understanding life's most profound survival strategies requires looking not just at the creature, but at the rhythm of the world it inhabits. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow the journey as we gather more data, please like and subscribe.